Sell out with me, oh yeah, sell out with me tonight. The record company's only kid.
Hey guys, I just want to start by saying that I love the idea of the Expendables. Fucking love it. An action movie starring all these legends from the 80s and 90s all together as a big tribute to the past movies we grew up on. Kick it old school. Fuck yes. Bring that on. Now, back in 2010, I was really excited to see the Expendables. And then I saw it. I didn't like it. Didn't like it at all, to be honest. I thought it was really fucking bad. It was dull, too serious, the action wasn't that great, too much CGI and really bad CGI. The story, the characters, the writing, the direction, everything. I didn't like it at all. I thought it was a bad movie and I was really, really disappointed. Now, I did give the sequel a chance and I did enjoy it more. It still wasn't very good, but I enjoyed it a lot more and it was a lot closer to the mark, closer to what I wanted and what I thought they were going for, should be going for. You know, you got the cheesy one-liners, you got the big action. The opening scene of the Expendables 2 was pretty awesome. A lot of fun, creative action there. You got Chuck Norris. Yeah, it was a much better movie and a much more fun movie, but it still made a lot of the same mistakes. Still got too serious. The tone was all over the place. Too much shit CGI. There shouldn't be any CGI in these movies, in my opinion. So yeah, I know some people enjoy the first one more, but for me, I enjoy the second one more. It's closer to what I want. Now, when I walked out of the second one, I kind of said, yeah, close but no cigar. It's a step in the right direction, but it's still not the movie they should be making, and not the movie, as a fan, I want to see. Fingers crossed for the third one. Now, I've seen the third one. Yeah, it's more of the same. Let's start by talking about the story. There isn't one. Bad guy, army of bad guys. Good guy, he's got his good guys. They fight, the good guys win. Spoilers. Now, I did go into this with low expectations, and for the first 30 minutes, I was enjoying it. I wasn't loving it, but it was fine. It was solid. I was sat there thinking, why did this get such bad reviews? Why is everyone saying it sucked? Yeah, it was fine. You got Wesley Snipes, Mel Gibson's introduced as the villain. It's all good fun. And then 30 minutes into it, it hits a brick fucking wall and goes down fast. And this is the point where it's going to lose most people. And it's the point where, for me, it starts getting into a shitty movie. Stallone's character Barney gets rid of the Expendables and he brings in these new, young, unknown, unlikable, boring, Hollywood pretty douchebags who we don't want and don't like. We're here for the legends. We're not here for a bunch of fuckheads we don't recognise or want to recognise. I knew one of them, sort of, and I went home and googled it. It's Kellan Lutz. He was in that really shitty Hercules movie at the beginning of the year. He was also in the Twilight movies. Call me crazy, but I don't want a fucking Twilight person in The Expendables. And I'm pretty sure most fans won't want that. But yeah, this is where the movie really goes down fast. The whole middle section is with this young Expendables. Statham, Cruise, Lundgren, and the guy of the year. First half an hour they're in it, and then the whole middle section they're fucking gone. And they do come back in the last half an hour, and they join in on the action again. But yeah, they're all pretty wasted and not given much to do. The whole middle section is with these new kids, and I didn't like them at all. Now, so Statham and all that barely in it. Stallone, on the other hand, pretty much in every fucking scene. Now, I like Stallone, and I think he can be a good actor. Look at Rocky, Copland, Stop, All My Mum Will Shoot. Yeah, he can be good, but he's never been that great in these movies, and he's certainly not very good in this one. But yeah, the fact he's in almost every scene, and a lot of people accuse him of having a big ego, and I've always thought, oh, fuck you, he's cool. But watching this one, it's like, yeah, he actually does have a big ego, doesn't he? Also, this part really fucking bugs me. So Stallone's character fires the Expendables, and he goes on a mission with all these new kids, and then it shows all the old Expendables acting like a bunch of bitches whose girlfriend has just dumped him. You know, one of them's drinking in a bar alone, one of them's in his hotel room, one's at the gun range. Like, oh, Stallone says we can't play, so now I'm sad. It's like, you're fucking mercenaries, you kill for a living. Go and kill for someone else. Kill for yourself. Fucking quit acting like bitches. Ugh. So anyway, yeah, the whole middle section sucks. Wesley Snipes. Oh, so happy to see him back in a big movie. I can't wait to see more of him. I'm a big fan. He's great in this, but I'm going to say this about most of the actors in this movie. He's kind of wasted. First half now, he's introduced. He's good, he's fun, he kicks ass, he's great. Whole middle section, he's gone. You know, he has like 1 or 2 scenes, but he's pretty much not in the whole middle section. Then he comes back at the end. He's great, but yeah, should be given more to do. But yeah, he's definitely one of the highlights of the movie for me. Now, Marvel, if you're watching this, which you probably are, Blade 4, make it happen. He can still do it. He can fucking still do it, definitely. Just make it better than Blade Trinity. Ugh, I fucking hated Blade Trinity. Loved Blade 1, loved Blade 2. Blade Trinity sucked balls. What a fucking letdown but Blade Trinity was. We know what you are, Blade. You're a stone cold killer. Yeah. And you're sick as fuck. Do you remember that? Oh, what a fucking letdown Blade Trinity was. Anyway, Wesley Snipes, awesome. Mel Gibson might be a crazy bastard, but he's a crazy bastard who can act. And he's fucking great in this as the villain. Honestly, he's so good, I was kind of rooting for him, to be honest. His performance, easily the best in the movie. His character's the most interesting. Gibson steals it, to be honest. But again, not in it enough, not given enough, and he deserves to be in a better movie. I'm a big fan of his, you know, not so much of some of the stuff he's said over the last few years, but as an actor and a director, I'm a big fan. And Warner Brothers, if you're watching, which you probably are, Lethal Weapon 5. He's not too old for this shit just yet. Please make it happen. Harrison Ford, love him, he's a legend, but he is too old for this shit. Antonio Banderas, again, I'm a big fan of his. Desperado, fucking awesome action movie. There's a great shootout in that. If you haven't seen Desperado, check it out, it's great. Now, I was excited to see him in this movie, but I've got to warn you, he's the comic relief. He's the Jar Jar Binks of the Expendables. He does get in on the action at the end, but for the most part, he's there to make jokes. And he's kind of funny at times, but for the most part, it does get quite annoying. Were you disappointed by how little Jet Li was in the Expendables 2? Yeah, so was I. Again, I'm a big fan of Jet Li. Fucking awesome. In this, I'm not exaggerating here, he probably has about 3 minutes of screen time. He comes in right at the end. He has a couple of lines that are just clunky and like easily throwaway lines. He shoots a few people and he doesn't do any martial arts. Doesn't throw a punch or a kick. Just shoots a few people and that's it. Fucking disappointed. I love Jet Li, but he's shoved in this purely to help sell it to the Asian markets. And yeah, if you're expecting more Jet Li, then you're going to be really disappointed. A lot of the fans are really upset about the fact that this is PG-13. And I agree. It should be rated R. It should be a 15 or an 18. It's a fucking 12A here in the UK. I mean, what the fuck? But I remember when it was announced, when the news came out that it was PG-13, the producers came out and said, oh, don't worry guys, don't worry. Yes, it is PG-13, but it's very close to an R. Don't worry, it's very close to an R. Fucking bullshit. It's very much a PG-13. A movie I saw recently was Hercules, the Rock one, not that really shitty one that came out in January. Hercules is more violent than this movie. Like, easily more violent. But I kind of got to defend the rating a tiny little bit. You see, Statham and Schwarzenegger have done action movies, R-rated action movies. They've done a few over the last couple of years. And they bombed. They fucking bombed. Like, bombed. They made fuck all. So part of me can't blame them for making this PG-13. But with that being said, The Expendables 1 and 2 were both R-rated movies, and they did very well. So, fuck it. They sold out. There are many things I don't like about all three of these movies, and one of them is the CGI. I mean, why is it so fucking bad? They spend a lot of money on these movies. Why is the CGI so fucking awful? I mean, personally, I'd rather they didn't even use much CGI, like especially with the blood. Like, use blood squibs, do it old school. CGI blood looks like shit. It always fucking does. Although that's not a problem with this one because there's fucking barely any blood. But the CGI, terrible. There's a moment in this. Look for the helicopters. Whenever there's a helicopter, it looks fucking shit. But there's one moment where Stallone's character blows up a helicopter, and I'm not lying, it looks like it was done on an iPad app. So let's talk about the action. For the most part, it's meh. It's very much PG-13 action. Yeah, very little blood. A lot of quick cuts to hide like some of the stabbings and stuff. The best action is the final action scene. There's a big shootout at the end, and it's not bad. There's a few cool stunts. There's a lot of shitty CGI, but there's a few cool stunts and there's some good work in that final action scene. It's not great. It's not the Raid 2 or anything, but it's not bad. But yeah, overall the action is meh at best. Talking of the Raid 2 cost $5 million. If you haven't seen the Raid 2 and you love action, go and watch the Raid 2. It fucking rocks. So $5 million. This movie cost about 90, I think. I'm guessing it's going mostly to the actors, because why the fuck can the Raid 2 do this for 5 and then this does this for 90? It doesn't make any sense to me. But yeah, the action for the most part is very meh. But one big thing I want to point out, yes, there's very little blood, and you notice that almost immediately. But the other thing that was very weird, and I couldn't quite put my finger on it at first, is when you have people shooting each other, there's a big shootout at the end, but when you have that and there's no blood, you notice that. But also, when there's no blood, the people go down shot, but because there's no blood, there's no impact. It feels like they're all running around with BB guns. When someone hits the floor, you feel like they're about to get back up. It's just tame as fuck, and that's not what these movies are supposed to be about. Also, talking about the action, the final fight obviously ends in a final fight. Stallone and Gibson. What a letdown. Do not get excited about the final fight. It's even worse than the Van Damme fight from the second movie. A few punches, a few kicks, and then he shoots him. It's over. It lasts maybe a couple minutes. I think they're trying to go for like a Lethal Weapon type fight scene. Yeah, it sucked. Real letdown. Another big problem I have with these movies is the sense of humour, the comedy. I mean, they're not very funny, but there's these really weird moments, where a character will say something, and then they all fucking laugh like he's Richard fucking Pryor. I think it's the first movie where Cruise is hitting on the woman, but she likes Stallone's character even though he's about 50 years older than her. And Cruise says something like, "Italian's overrated." That's not my Cruise voice, by the way. That's just, I can't do impressions. But yeah, he says something like, "Italian's overrated." And they all laugh like he's fucking hysterical. Like, oh yeah. And you just sat there thinking, what the fuck are you all laughing at? You can't have your characters all laughing and then the audience is supposed to think, yeah, this is funny. Like, no, write some fucking jokes if you want to make us laugh. Like in this new movie, there's a point where Statham calls Stallone demented or something. And Stallone goes, "You could have left out the demented." And then they both start packing up. And they do their old fist bump. It's like, how fucking weird and stupid are you people? It's not funny. Another big problem I have with these movies is the tone. At one point, they're all running around shooting hundreds of people and they're all cracking jokes and yeah, it's fucking great, killing people, fucking fantastic. And that's fine. That's fine. If the whole movie's that's fine. But when you then go to a scene where it's supposed to be really serious, like, oh, this person's died. It's like, you just killed fucking hundreds. Why the fuck should we give a fuck about one of your mercenaries? Like, and the second one where you got like the female slaves or whatever the fuck was going on. Don't be fucking crazy, dumb action and then try and get serious. One or the other. It's very hard to do both. And these movies fucking can't do it to save their lives. I don't often talk about the posters for movies, but I really have to comment on these. Have you seen the posters? You got one poster, the big one, where they're all on it, and they're all they've all got carrying machine guns. And this is an action movie we're talking about here, and they've all got these weird family comedy smiles. So let's go and kill hundreds of people. And what kind of fucking what the fuck? And the characters all have individual posters, and they're all big smiles and all carrying their guns, but it's really weird colours. It's like green, red and orange, and I don't know who is responsible for the marketing of this movie, but they fucking should get fired immediately. Like, they fucking suck at their job. Take away your nostalgic love for the actors, and what are you left with? Fuck all, to be quite honest. Replace Schwarzenegger and Stallone, replace all those guys with some new actors you don't have a nostalgic love for, and really think about what you're left with. The story, there's fucking no story. The characters, not that interesting. The action, been done much better in the past. The CGI, terrible. The comedy, even the best one-liners are ones they're just using from old films. I want to love these movies so much, but if you take away your nostalgic love for the actors, there's nothing that's above average. So where does this rank with the other Expendables? For me, I mean, some people are saying this is the absolute worst. I think a couple of people said it's the best. I mean, it doesn't matter where I rank it, because I don't think much of any of them, to be honest. As much as I want to love them, I just don't. But for me, this is somewhere in the middle, I guess. Tone-wise, this one is much more similar to the first one. There are a few fun, silly moments, like Schwarzenegger gets in a couple of good lines, lines from his old movies. But yeah, for the most part, this is played quite seriously. So the first one's my least favourite. The second one is my most favourite, but that's not saying much. So this is in the middle. It has its moments, it has its bad moments, but overall, just like the other two, it just misses the mark. It's just not the movie I want it to be. Obviously, they're talking about making a fourth movie. Would I watch it? Some things would have to happen for me to watch the next one. If they make another one. Depends how this one does, I guess. That's another thing. If this bombs, they're going to blame the piracy. The fact that it leaked online a few weeks early. They're not going to blame the fact that it's not very good, or that it's PG-13 and the fans don't want a PG-13. So if this bombs, they will blame on fucking the fact that it leaked online. And that is going to damage the box office, to be fair. But, anyway, fuck it. Would I watch the fourth one? Probably not, to be honest. Some things would have to happen for me to watch the fourth one. I want an experienced director who maybe has even made some of the classic action movies that this is supposed to be paying tribute to. I want a new writer. I love you, Stallone. Stay as the actor. But stop writing them. You just don't get it. Fuck CGI. CGI can fuck right off. Stop using it, because you can't do it well, apparently. Get rid of the baby Expendables. Kill them off. Forget they were ever there. Whatever, just fucking get rid of them. Make it rated R. 15, 18 here in the UK. Make this a hardcore action movie for adults. Bring all these legends together, and don't just have them say a few lines then fuck off. Like, bring them all in together and give them stuff to do. If you do all that, which is basically the complete fucking opposite of what these movies are really doing, then I'll watch the fourth one. But, I mean, they haven't done it yet, so why would they do it for the fourth one? So yeah, if they make a fourth one, fine. If they don't, I really couldn't give a shit. I've given up hope for these movies. I want to love them, but 3 times now I've been let down. So fuck it. Fuck it. That pretty much sums it all up. Fuck it. But yeah, that's the end of the review, guys. It's been a bit long, I know, and I've been a bit all over the place. I've had quite a lot of caffeine today. But yeah, so thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Take care, guys.